Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking a look into my second fall 2020 forecast. We'll be looking over my updated maps for like temperatures, precipitation. My overall forecast will also be taking a look into the Climate Prediction Center's forecast as well. So let's go ahead and get started with my temperature forecast here. And as you can see here, I believe what's different than my last one is I added this slightly below average region across for the portions of the Dixie Alley into the Tennessee Valley and into the lower Ohio Valley regions. This is due to the potential for some active tropics here. It is possible, but we'll talk about that later. But there's going to be some ridging going on across a good chunk of the western United States here, so that's going to bring your temperatures a little bit higher. You know, like California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, southern Oregon, southern Idaho, southern Wyoming, and western Texas can see some above average temperatures due to some ridging, and it seems to be a pretty stubborn ridge there across nearly the entire fall, which is very unfortunate. This will die down as we kind of get closer to the end of the fall, so that's going to be some good news there, that the ridge will be starting to calm down a little bit. But surrounding that, that's where we have some slightly above average temperatures, which includes northern Oregon, most of Washington, most of Idaho, southern Montana, central and northern and Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, western Kansas, western Oklahoma, and central and western Texas as well. And there's also another area that we're going to watch for potential ridging, and that's going to be across the northeastern United States. We have an above average region across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and northeastern New York states. Surrounding those areas is the slight above average region, which also includes anywhere from the east coast of of the Carolinas, all the way up into through eastern Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, most of Pennsylvania, most of New York State, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts as well. Those were areas could see potentially for some slightly above average temperatures. That's also again due to some ridging that could be happening. And areas that you don't see anywhere highlighted, EC means equal chances there. That's where there's going to be times where you can get some slightly below average temperatures or slightly above average temperatures. It basically just really means average overall. So that's what that means there. It goes for a pretty decent chunk of the country here. And again, with the slightly below average region, that's where again we can see some active tropics. Models are in a good agreement that the Bermuda High will be a little bit further south and west here. What that's going to lead to is the most of the East Coast should be all right for this fall. At least that's what models are looking at for the tropics. And what that's going to lead to is some of these tropical systems to go to the Caribbean, which the models in a really good agreement where we can see some well above normal precipitations, which is not a good sign at all for it. Plus, you got La Nina going on, so that's going to really help out the tropics, unfortunately. And what that's going to lead to is the Gulf of Mexico. And in these regions here, the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, that is some very warm waters there as well. And most of your systems looks to be kind of going into this general direction here, where the flow, the high pressure here will be trying to go around the high pressure. So these are the regions here that they can have the effects of the tropics here, which even goes as far north as like Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. I mean, you can still get tropical depression around that time and also quite a bit of rainfall, which leads to our precipitation forecast. So the Northwest, we could see, for right now, there is going to be some warm waters across the northern Pacific here. Although, what that's going to lead to is your jet stream will be kind of coming through some of these areas here, which it could lead to some low pressure systems to go over some of these areas right here across the Northwest. The slight above average region does also include Washington, far northern Oregon, central and northern Idaho, into most of Montana, and into northern Wyoming. And again, could see a little bit of an active jet stream there as well due to a high pressure system that'll be over um, in this general area right in here in the northern Pacific. there. And what that's going to do, that's going to lead to some bridging. What I also found interesting here is the sea surface temperatures here. Even though we may get the models there to get agreement for a uh, high pressure to be around into 500 millibars, although when you get into the sea surface temperature, some models are indicating potentially for some below slightly below average temperatures, sea surface temperature wise, along portions of the west coast there of like California and Oregon. What that's going to lead to is a below average precipitation, ending on top of some high pressure. Yeah, it's likely to be a very dry fall for like California, Nevada, even it could even expand a little bit further as well. So we're unfortunately it's for right now it's not really quite looking to be a wet fall, more of a dry fall for some of you guys there. Um, that's your below average region. Your slightly below average region also includes southern Oregon, southern Idaho, most of Utah, most of Arizona, New Mexico, pretty much the entire desert Southwest, portions of Colorado, southwestern Wyoming, even into western Texas there. As well. We do have another area slightly below average precipitation, which is pretty much the entire northeastern United States again for some ridging that can happen up across portions of the northeastern United States. That could even get extended into portions of the East Coast down into North Carolina, especially where we're going to have the Bermuda High nearby as well. Most of your tropical systems should be not really have a tropical threat for North Carolina, although if the Bermuda High could be a little bit weaker, if it still goes into the Gulf, it could still turn to the mid-Atlantic region, but we're going to see about that. I think at that point, the storm itself should, any tropical system that makes it towards the Appalachian Mountains should shred out, but it can still bring some rain, but not a whole lot of rain. And again, with the active tropics, is what I've been talking about here. You can see here's your above average region, which includes pretty much the entire Dixie Valley and up into Tennessee Valley and the lower Ohio Valley regions. I even got it included for western Florida there as well. So even back on my, temperature forecast, I actually have portions of Florida a little bit below average. You know, that's some good news for Florida, but it's not for a good reason for slightly below average temperatures. So yeah, and unfortunately, the tropics is looking to be pretty active this season. It's already been very active right now, so that's not good. Surrounding this above average region, which will also include, eastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, central Missouri to central Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, southern Michigan, central West Virginia, western Virginia, the western Carolinas, eastern Georgia, and even into most of Florida as well. And again, that's going to be due to some of the tropics there as well. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you guys are pretty excited for my overall forecast. We're going to go from west to east here, so kind of a little best across the northwestern United States. Your light green is stormy areas again with those, with your jet stream will be going over some of those areas. You can see some stormy conditions. However, when you get into the mountains, you can see some mountain snow up there as well. So that'll be something exciting for some people that like snow in the mountains. You know, that'd be a little bit good thing. I don't think it won't quite be above average season. I think it'd be a little bit more average for about snowfall for the fall for some of you guys up there. If we move a little bit more to the south, this orange area here is hot early and warm end. But generally throughout the entire period here, it's going to be, above average. But when you kind of look into, compare it to average here, um, really it'll be a warm end and it'll be hot early. So when you kind of think about that, your dark red area that's for like California, Nevada, portions of Utah, and northern Arizona, that's gonna be hot and dry conditions there. So not really so much a good news for California, which I know some of you guys are gonna need some rain soon. So hopefully the winter can be, you know, maybe able to give you guys some rain because I know your guys are gonna need some rain pretty soon. Um, let's move on to this brown area here, which includes eastern Colorado, central Kansas, into central Oklahoma, and portions of Texas. These are areas in a typical setup like this here when you have a ridge and a little bit of traffic to the east. Really, you guys don't really see much of any way of precipitation. It's actually going to be more dry there, which I probably should have expanded that solid below average area a little bit further east into more to the plains. But I think overall you guys will see some dry conditions. In this large white area region, that's where we have average. That's just your average fall, average temperatures, average precipitations. Just your typical fall in those white regions, which includes portions of the Central Plains. Um, kind of goes a little bit eastward to portions of the Midwest, portions of the Ohio Valley, and kind of loops around down back into Georgia as well, and even through portions of the Appalachian Mountains. That dark blue area, this is an area of interest here for fall here. It it's going to be cold and also some snow. And keep in mind, this is going to be late, so we're talking about November. After looking to models, that there's a decent agreement here, especially when we look into the AO, which is your Arctic oscillation. Around the Arctic Circle here. Even Greenland is looking to be warm. And what that's going to lead to is some of your cold air will be coming in a little bit southward. And also adding on top of to a little bit warm blob here. Some of your cold air might able to sneak in into across the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and even into the Great Lakes. So some of you guys might able to see an early winter. Uh, you know, uh, on that. So it includes North Dakota, northeastern South Dakota, most of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and northeastern Iowa, and also northern Illinois. Again, you guys could see an early winter this year. Uh, but again, things could change on that. But that's for mainly for November. But when you look into the other 2 months, it's still looking to be warm for you guys. So that's why I'm going to put it late at this time here. Again, your pink area here, that's where we can see active tropics. I think that's where most of the activity for the tropics will be in the Gulf of Mexico this year. And then when you get into the dark green region, which includes the Dixie Valley, Tennessee Valley, and the Lower Ohio Valley, that's where we indicate some stormy conditions again from tropical systems, and it'll also be cool. Tropical systems do make, can create below average temperatures. Although when you don't have any tropical systems, it could get a little bit warm. Also, most balls indicate, more of average temperatures, but I think it's going to be a little bit more on the cool side of all things there as well. In your last region, which is this yellow region here, which includes the Mid-Atlantic up to the northeast. That's where we're going to see some warm and dry conditions there. Again, for some bridging to be for some of those areas, although we're probably got to watch for portions of the northeastern United States. Some of you guys may be able to see an early winter. Like, I'm forecasting for the Midwest portions, well, the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the portions of the northern plains, which I could get expanded to portions of the northeastern United States, but um, we're going to see about that. But that's my forecast overall there of what we can see, um, this fall here. And it's not my final forecast. I do expect one more fall 2020 forecast to come out in the next month. But before we end the video, let's take a look to the CPC outlook here, or the Climate Prediction Center. And as you can see here, now keep in mind this was made back in July 16th, which I think they may update this tomorrow. Today is the 15th, the time of making this video. So they may update this tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you can see here almost similar to my forecast. Almost. I got the Northwest. They do have the Northwest a little bit above normal, like my forecast shows. Even across portions of Florida, a little bit above normal. You also do notice there's actually some slight below average precipitation across some of the Four Corner states, into Oklahoma and Texas, and even into Kansas, or in general the Southern Plains. There's one. Everywhere else, equal chances, pretty much of average there. Then the last thing here is their temperature forecast, almost like mine as well here. You know, the Northeast is very warm, safely for the Four Corner states, but I think we could see that get pushed back to the west. There a little bit more to California and Nevada because I'm also been really shifting that, some of the core of the ridge here may be a little bit further west here as well. You can also see a little bit dip into for the temperatures as well. You can see a far northern plains and even down into portions of the Dixie Valley where we can see some potentially some troughs that could move in or, active tropics across the Dixie Valley as well. Overall, mostly I agree with the forecast, but this is back in July 16th. They might update this tomorrow, but we're going to see about that. And a little bit of announcement that I do have planned for is for the next couple days, there will be no video on Monday. However, tomorrow I'll be releasing my first winter thoughts video. Tomorrow, I'm going to make the video, going to make it tonight, and going to upload it tomorrow because I'll be somewhere else later tomorrow. So I think you guys will be very excited about that. And if you guys want to see it, I'll pin in the link description, or you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you can get the notification of whenever I upload my winter thoughts video. And it's not a forecast; it's just my thoughts on the winter overall, um, as well. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy my secondary fall 2020 forecast. If you guys did like this forecast, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.